We were just talking not too long ago about regressive taxes like our sales tax, and what this amendment would do would allow a back-to-school sales tax holiday for our, not just our families and parents trying to send their kids back to school, especially as inflation has hit those supplies a little bit harder than in the past, but also for all those teachers out there, because we didn't increase MSOC, material supplies and operating costs, in this budget really at all, Mr. Speaker. The teachers will have to actually do a little bit more to go out and buy those supplies at Staples or Home Depot or Walmart or whatever it is. And a lot of times we hear about how teachers are going out and buying the necessary products and supplies for their classrooms out of their own wallet, out of their own pocket. And it's because we have some great teachers in this state who really like to give a little more than they get. But this amendment gives back to them something, and also to our moms and our dads and our grandparents and our legal guardians out there who want a little bit of relief from that regressive sales tax, just so they can go out on that day when the, you know, I've went out for each one of my 4 kids before, Mr. Speaker, and I've been at the Walmart before, and it's been packed in there. Everyone's snatching up the pencils and the crayons and the markers, and it's a lot of money. And I can imagine if you're a school teacher even more, because you're trying to fill the gap for those families that don't have the funds, because regressive taxes like these hit them even harder. And so this sales tax holiday would be a great message. And in exchange, what we do is we cut this junk drawer of things that aren't helping families and teachers in our state. Things such as a lot of the diversity, equity, and inclusion activities at our higher education institutions, our 4-year institutions. Mr. Speaker, it wasn't too long ago that we did a survey of all the state agencies about this kind of spending, and wouldn't you know it, the only people to respond were some of our colleges. And it is an incredible amount of money. We heard a little bit ago that tough decisions had to be made to develop this budget. But we're not actually giving any relief for families or for teachers or for anybody in the state of Washington. We're actually burdening them a lot more as a result of this budget. But we didn't actually have to make, there wasn't any tough decisions actually made, because there is still a junk drawer of other things, including laser hair removal for transgender inmates in our prisons. Now, Mr. Speaker, we also do fund transgender surgeries in Medicaid. Now, we would say, you know what, priorities of government. We should be helping out our families, help our kids get back to school, cut regressive sales taxes, and make sure that we can help children get the paramount duty of the proper education in this state. And we should actually make some tough decisions in this budget, like getting rid of some of these things that don't even need to happen. Mr. Speaker, I don't need to fund a bunch of $100,000 paid pronoun police in our state universities. I would rather give a sales tax break to our families and our teachers so they could send their kids back to school. Please vote yes. I want to reiterate some of the words from the gentlelady of the 25th. Oftentimes we hear about the Trevor Project that has been widely debunked. It's junk science. There actually isn't a correlation there to help stop suicides. If anything, after a lot of these procedures have been done, there is actually more risk of suicide later. That is the actual truth. But I wanted to just talk about DEI in our 4-year universities. Oftentimes, these positions are getting paid exorbitant sums of money, 6-figure salaries, and they don't actually help with teaching kids or service delivery of anything. And Mr. Speaker, let's just think about the results of spending tens of millions of dollars at a university like the University of Washington. Of course, we saw over the last year or so just a stunning amount of anti-Semitism on our campuses, spitting and kicking and hurting Jewish students who were being blocked from getting to and from their classes, an encampment of angry demonstrators who were expressing hatred towards our Jewish population in the state of Washington. That is not diversity, that is not equity, and that is not inclusion, Mr. Speaker. So I would ask, what are these DEI employees doing at the University of Washington? Because at this point in time, the way I see it is that the UW's own climate survey, it's a survey done by their own school, their own faculty. They ranked themselves one of the most anti-Semitic schools in the nation. So if we want to actually do something about DEI, we don't need to spend money on positions that have failed to do the job. Instead, we should help kids and families out with our paramount duty and provide some sales tax relief, because this state is one of the most unaffordable states in the entire nation to live in. Please vote yes.